All right, now let's look at one of the OGs of kettlebell swings. Something that everybody just, whenever they think kettlebell, they think swings, okay? The swing is a hinge movement. And the idea here is I want to use the big piece of meat, hamstring and my butt. That's what we want to do. So even before we hold on to the kettlebell, the simple way to think about this is the outside blade of your hands, we're going to just kind of find them at the crease of our hips, okay? Now the intent with this is my foot, it's not going to be crazy wide. Think about your normal RDLs. Right? RDLs are normally a narrow stance work. Now, of course, we need to have enough space for the belt to kind of go through the legs, so we do need them to have a little bit wider. But it's not crazy wide. Blade of the hands, then I want you to just push your blade of your hands back, and I want you to trap the hands. This is your basic hinge position, right? Boom. Soften your knees a tiny bit for me, so you can even get a little bit and then hinge. Keep pushing, there we go. Look how far you get to pitch forward.
Yep.
And that's what we're looking for, because the idea here is we want to be in that lengthened state of the hamstring and that butt effectively. Yeah, that's what we want, right? Now, stay there in that position. This is our end position. However, for whatever reason, just put your blade of your hands into the, okay, just bend your knees more. That's more squat motion. We know this, right? Because now it's no longer the glutes and the hamstring into play. You have to then now get into the quads too.
So chest up, shoulders forward, hips back.
We want to keep a nice long spine, right? But we want to be pitched as far forward as possible, because that's what lengthens this to be able to then, boom, comes through. Now, I'm going to lean the kettlebell in first. That way I can pack my shoulders. What that means is I'm going to get my lats engaged, right? So my arms are packed. Now from here, I'm going to pull and then boom, aggressively come up. Now you can notice every rep I'm trying to pitch. I'm going to make sure I'm going to come up aggressively. I'm going to allow the weight to float in front of me, and I'm going to time it so that as the bell comes down, I'm going to be in that strong position for me to be able to then go again. Pitch over first. That's it. There we go. Hands on the kettlebell, and you're going to just drop that bell to the side a little bit. Up, keep it on the ground. There we go. Lean. That way you can focus on keeping the lats to the pockets. Now you can feel the shoulders packed. Now in one movement, you're going to bring it between your legs and stand tall. Boom, pull and up. Boom. Keep it going. Keep it going. And you want to keep the kettlebell high up in the groin. High up in the groin. There we go. And then rest. Okay, now, how does that feel, first and foremost?
I can do hinges with Romanian deadlifts, but I find that when there's speed and coordination in the mix, even though my mind knows to keep it fixed, I'm starting to squat a little bit.
The movement was great, apart from the fact that as we were coming down, the bell was kind of dropping or pulling us down more. So you can see the distance between the hands of the bell and my groin. What I want to do is I want to be nice and high.
Okay.
So again, if I was to kind of demo that, boom, I want to be here. See how high the kettlebell sits as opposed to...
Yeah.
Now, the reason for that is, look at the arc. If the kettlebell's going away from me, that's a bigger arc. A bigger arc means I need to manage a lot more. It's going to take a lot more out of me. It's going to put me in a lot more compromised position. So if I say to you, T-Rex arms, what I mean by that is, not reaching, but rather, I don't need to be here, but think about, can I hide the armpits a little bit? And if that means you soften the elbows a little bit, let it be. Because it's not an arm exercise. We're using the momentum from the lower body to bring the kettlebell up.
I fear hitting my crown jewels as I'm coming in, so creating as much distance, but realistically, they're not down here.
There we go.
I'm not 85 years old yet, so
yes! Let's see. Right, so I want to make sure I'm generating enough power from that bottom position, boom, to arrive somewhere in my eye line with the hands, with my shoulders still packed. That way I can then, not passive, but I'm just going to wait for time for the kettlebell to fall, and I'm going to manage that distance, and boom, comes through.
Let's see how this theory, does it actually pay off?
Okay. So kettlebell in front of you again, just as a good habit. Boom, pull, and let's go. And straight into it, boom, nice. Straight into it, there we go. There we go. Keep going, there we go. And again, aggressive, that's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for. Let that weight come through, nice. Now, and rest. So one of the questions that you had before, like why a little bit heavier weight, you can see you were generating so much power because you're so powerful that the kettlebell was coming all the way up. That means we can go a little bit heavier.
Of course.
Does that make sense, right? But how did that feel compared to the first effort?
A lot better. I feel my body's naturally learning the correct movement pattern with the hinge.
Guys, when you combine calisthenics with weights, that's when your physique is really going to start to change. I've spent 17 years figuring out what actually works so that you don't have to. Click the link down below to get my hybrid program. I'll show you exactly what to do and coach you through the whole thing.